So I was also fortunate enough to also get some funding for my master's program, which was funded by the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. And through this program, I really wanted to seek an inquiry into architectural evolution and understand my city's problem and many cities in Ghana and in Africa through the lens of Western cities. And so CED, that's the College of Environmental Design at UC Berkeley, really houses various disciplines across board from architecture to landscape architecture to real estate, city planning, to the arts and design, which I found was really the best fit for me because I could really learn from diverse backgrounds and engage with experienced professionals in the field. And looking at my journey so far and my abroad experience, I really say that some of the perks of me studying for this program that it was really intellectually stimulating because I was really able to learn from people of diverse culture. I had the opportunity to engage with a robust faculty and also the diverse student body and the challenging research and design assignments that we were given. I also had the opportunity to undertake different courses from the different departments. So I took courses on law and environmental law, and then also looking at courses that really help you to understand how policy intersects with design and the role that it plays in the architectural space or in the built environment. In fact, it was really during this time that I really developed a like for a more broadened scope on how we see architecture. And I was able to also forge really unconventional tools of knowing and making architecture through learning from, like I said, urban designers, learning from environmentalists, planners, climate enthusiasts, and so on and so forth. The list goes on. And so right now, as we see in our world today, the US or globally, even in Africa and different regions of the world, we are really facing and tackling climate change hazards. And then we are trying to address burgeoning and deliberate economic inequalities and the supply of affordable housing that have been created by past regimes. And this major shift in governments or in different governments really pushes for uh, the deployment of resources to fund some of these initiatives, like climate change initiatives, to housing, transportation, and energy. And all these tensions really present insightful yet challenging topics that have really manifested in coursework and even the kind of coursework that I did in school and have been really created for design schools to really foster dialogue and propose ideas for possible futures. And so I'll move on to talking about my experience while in school. That during my time in school, I also had the opportunity to um, do work in a non-traditional office, that's in an unconventional office. So by unconventional, I mean that it was a firm that were made up of architects, but they weren't doing work specifically as architects, but they were helping architects to think around different solutions and finding different solutions for the built environment. And so I was able to be exposed to a community of experts in the area of energy and lighting. And then it also allowed me to learn about sustainability from the perspective of integrating both architecture and human comfort in space. It also touched a bit on energy savings and how we can predict energy savings from daylight harvesting, evaluating illumination levels and light distribution in space. And these are some of the things that also surround architecture that we should be conscious of. And when we think about climate change and we think about life cycle assessment and how it plays an important role of even products or building materials right from the manufacturing stage to its end of life stage, and in thinking about how it also impacts our environment in general. And so I'll say that looking out for also some of these opportunities that are also not mainly focused on architecture, but are also related to architecture. It helps you to have, a broader understanding of some of the issues that we face as designers or built environment professionals. I would say that this opportunity was also great in terms of being able to network with peers, right from the classroom to group projects and engaging in different departments and then even in events in school. Um, another thing I would also like to talk about was one of my projects that was my thesis project that I did in school. And then I would say that undertaking these courses that were in different areas in different fields also really helped me to craft this project because now I was interested in different things across board, and that really helped me to push that towards my project. And so I was able to look at classes from net zero carbon structures to affordable housing, and then later on to environmental law. And this really allowed me to reflect on my own city, Accra, and indulge in debates that were surrounding some of these issues that we face in African cities. And so through this project, I really utilized transformative urban design and architectural strategies to develop an urban node that allows the making and remaking of waste. And then, so this project allowed me to propose different facilities on sites, like demonstration facilities, learning hubs. And then these were also geared towards addressing challenges of unemployment and climate hazards that have been caused by pollution as well. And so my vision was to create a community toolbox with strategies to tackle this waste issue and offer a mutually beneficial system of both industrial, public, and commercial uses on the site by reimagining and making waste sites into safe and productive urban spaces. So after graduating, I'm right now doing work in the area of sports and recreation. And then you can see that one of the challenges that we face globally, that we have like tournaments every 5 years. We have the upcoming FIFA World Cup 2026. We currently have the AFCON. Although Ghana has disappointed us, the Black Stars has disappointed us. Let's leave that out for today. But then we see that countries spend so much amount of money, like huge amounts of money building these World Cup stadiums, after which they go through a phase of obsolescence. Usually when these sports season ends, example, you can see in South Africa, we have the Soccer City Stadium that was heavily invested in, and this allowed them to experience issues of a bankrupted economy, and this also created a phase of obsolescence. And so through this experience, I'm also able to learn and understand how the post-life of recreation or sporting events and how designers can also anticipate and develop multifunctional recreational spaces that not only serve during the sports phase, but also serves as community infrastructure even after the play season ends. And aside this, we can also look at recreation from the standpoint of thinking about how recreational spaces serve as assets for meeting more ambitious goals in our urban environment when we look at urban policies, and then how this can also be embedded in the communities to promote community building, health, and then how these really intersect with our lived experiences in our communities. And so I would say that as I look back, although I'm still on this journey though, it's actually been a journey of courage. And I would say that's where architecture is headed. I wouldn't usually want to use one word to describe it because there are so many trends in architecture right now. We see so many different areas that we are focusing on. We are focusing on climate change. We are focusing on transportation, transit systems, health, industries. But I would just try to say that architecture needs to be or has to be responsible. That means to say that it has to be responsive to place and people. It has to be more empathetic. And if African cities or Africa in general, um, we need to anticipate for a more desirable and inclusive urban future. And we must also rethink our curriculum at schools and how design policies across all the different fields really impact how we design. We can also look at it from as designers. We have different professionals working in different areas in the built environment. We can also try to engage together and try to build a built environment from one script. And as architects, we must also really be equipped to build agency beyond technical design. But we must also try to engage governance and leadership structure. And then ultimately, we must also really be context specific in our approach to solutions and how they speak directly to people living within a specific region. We can see that some architects today are doing really great work in this area. We see Francis Kere, we see other professionals, we see Leslie Loco, we see Mariam Kamara, Tosin Shinowo, which are getting things right in the design space. And so really my journey has really made me understand that the greatest goal of architects is not just to design the most powerful buildings, but to design something that really edifies and empowers communities, and to discern and know what is desirable for ourselves. As students and professionals and anyone joining this call, I'd say that we shouldn't be afraid to think and engage, but we should also remember that to be an optimist is also to be an architect, and that's what is going to keep us going in this built environment space. Thank you. I'll now welcome any questions or any comments.